So in this video, I'm going to talk about CIS27 Lab. And in this lab, we're going to learn about host protection and application protection. So for this lab, you need to have a domain controller that will be your BDC01 server that automatically turns on when you start your lab. Additionally, you need to turn on your lab Win10, which is the client system. So you will need those two. So the first part is to update the antivirus program, and Microsoft uses Windows Defender. Windows Defender come as a built-in anti-malware for Windows 10. So it walks you through the process on how to use Windows 10, Windows Defender, so you can simply search for the actual virtual machine application, which is Windows Defender. Then after you open it up, you would see a page similar to this. Then you would start the scan, and we can select the quick scan option. So when we talk about protecting the host is when we protect the actual system that we're using. It could be the client or the server. So here is where we would do the scan, and we would want to do the update. So we wanted to make sure that we check our system update status and looking at the definition on when the anti-malware has been updated. So it would have a track or the history of that update for the application. Then after we look at the update for the application, then we would continue making sure that we have the updated definitions. Then in the next part, we're going to set up the exclusion for the system folder. So after you had set up your Windows Defender update information and making sure that it's up to date, then you would set up exclusion for a certain folder. So now we can point to the drive where that folder is located, and what we can do is we can exclude that folder from the scan option. So that way we can customize it where it doesn't scan everything in our system. So like any of the software tool, you're able to scan various type of folder, and so you can go in and you can check for like your system folder in System32. A lot of the malware would impact System32 files, so we wanted to make sure that we can scan that. And then we can use an anti-malware scanner that is online. So in this one, you would use the Internet Explorer and be able to access something that would be online, and then you can download and run. So in this part of the lab, it shows you how you can download the scanner from online and be able to run that. Okay, so as you go through and set up the installation, you have to agree to the license agreement, and then you also would perform a quick scan. So it's going to look very similar to what you've seen in the other software tools. So this is another way that we can scan the system. You can choose in a regular environment, if you wanted to be more detailed, you can do a full scan. But most of the time, if we wanted to quickly check for viruses and spyware and such, we would use a quick scan. So then we would be able to scan the system and wait for it to be completed. Once it's completed, it would show the completion page. And then we would go further and we would look at the browser security. So we can do manage add-ons here. And some software for security would allow you to have the capability to manage browser security. And then for the next part, you can personalize the list. So we can enable the list personalization. And on here, you would simply set up your browser tools and options. So on the Internet Explorer, it looks slightly different than what you would see with other browser, but most browser would have the functionality for pop-up blocker or to delete history or to track cookies, etc. So here we're gonna set up the pop-up blocker settings, and then we are going to look at the smart screen filter and when we check the website. And so for this part, we simply just set up some options on the browser to enhance the security of our browser, which is your Microsoft Edge or formerly Internet Explorer. So then we can set up in private browsing, and that will be comparable to Chrome, what you see with incognito, right? And so after that, we would enable the in private browsing so that way it can protect our privacy when we're looking at the internet. And then you would notice the padlock to show that that is a secure website. Okay. And then it shows you how you can view the certificate. So in order to access a trusted website, you would have a certificate for that website. And it shows you when it's issued, who it's issued by, and how long is it valid for. So as you complete this, you would have to answer the questions about anti-malware, and then to be able to understand a little bit more about protecting the host and the security. So this lab is pretty straightforward and simple, where we would run anti-malware and be able to better protect our system. So once you complete the three areas, go ahead and click done, and then that way it would submit your grade. If you have any questions, please let me know, and you can send me a Canvas message or an email.